in an island in the ocean.
Oh, we're both near the ocean.
Yeah.
That's, well, nice seeing you again.
Oh, it's so good to see you too. You know, I haven't seen you much in the social media. I have to admit I haven't been there myself either, but I can't, wait to hear what's going on.
Well, I love social media, mostly because I love seeing what everybody else is doing and catching up and being connected. I found some friends on social media that I hadn't been connected to for decades, and had it not been for social media, I probably would have been disconnected from them forever. But you're right. I sometimes am quiet on social media. Sometimes, like, I go and I'm very active for a while, then I become quiet. Um, Sometimes it's just that I need to reflect before I speak. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know if you can relate to that. Sometimes I feel like I need to regroup and decide what I want to say to the world, I guess. Can you relate to that yourself? Sorry,
Oh, totally, Chantal. I can totally relate to that. I've been very quiet this year. I was very active. I had always something to share. I was traveling a lot. I had a lot of sharing. I'm still traveling, but somehow suddenly it's just like there's really not much to share. And it's not that life doesn't happen to me. Constantly, life is happening to me. Um, I've done very, very deep changes in me. Uh,
mm-hmm.
I don't I don't know if can you relate to that, or anyone who's listening can relate to that. But I've gone through really, really deep. It's not psychological and emotional. It's more like the really deep beliefs, the core beliefs you have that have
Mm-hmm.
started changing. And it's like I haven't found my 100% my footing.
Yeah.
It was last 3 years. I felt like I was just like a floating like a butterfly.
Yes.
Traveling around Asia and having fun and going to different countries. And then I tried to ground myself, and I really enjoy this island life. It's so stress-free, very simple life.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that simplicity. Before, when
Mm-hmm.
I was living in Australia, I was very uh, like I always wanted to be the best suburb, do what my neighbors did at, have a new home, renovating it, having this and that, always having. And now
Okay.
I'm looking at it, how can I live happily in this moment and not wanting anything? So when
So
you're
you're more
yeah,
being.
more in peace. But I'm still adjustment. There's still adjustment happening, but definitely I'm more stress-free. That's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So would you say you're more like this current phase of your life is more about being than having, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, you're hearing it correctly. And
Yeah.
when I have a guru, Maharishika, and she just recently said that peace is just the illusion. It doesn't happen. But being in a moment, and finding your love, inner love, your soul, that can give you the feeling of peace. But chasing peace is not something that is attainable anyway.
Very interesting. So
Yeah.
that's why I see you on my social media feed for a long time. I was like, where's Ava? Because I used to really enjoy following your traveling, from one country to the next, never knew what the next adventure was. And that kind of kept me on my toes. And then all of a sudden, like, where did Ava go? And I went to look on your page because sometimes, the algorithm just, you might still be active, but I don't see it on my page. So
Yeah.
then just recently, I don't know why I was thinking about you. And then I thought, oh, I haven't seen her for so long. And I went on your page and I saw that, yes, you have not been active on social media for probably months.
Yes, that's right. Not much this year at all, because a lot of things has happened. Um, it's very difficult to go and explain that I met myself. How can you explain I met myself? So this actually happened a couple years ago. And it took me to path where my Kundalini opened. And
Mm-hmm.
then it took me to path when I went through the dark night of the soul, but the proper name for it actually is dark night of the ego. And it's a spiritual path that life is throwing you into it. And so how would I say it? People call it twin flame, but that's a romantic illusion about it, what's happening. It's actually meeting yourself. So I know this will go so over people's thinking and understanding, but this is why I have been quiet. I haven't been able to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a rare phenomenon, but it happened a little bit more and more these days. So you're going to meet the person, and when you look at them in their eyes, you recognize yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
my guru was explaining when I reincarnated it, my soul divided and it was another body. So I have actually two bodies and we're one soul. And it's very, very recognizable when you meet your other half. And it's like you don't even have to say much, talk because you understand each other so well that we have the same mannerism, same laugh, same this, a lot of things, same belief
Mm-hmm.
system. Everything is sort of same. But I also had a feeling that he's from a past, like from a past life. It was incredible. So when we looked at each other's eyes, the Kundalini woke, and then you think this is a romantic experience, but it's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's the life shaking you back to the spiritual path, for me, back to it, because I've been in it for so strongly, but then I went off. Or if person has never been in spiritual path, the purpose of it is to go to the spiritual path. So it feels very much like addiction. You're so connected and so attached to that person that it's really hard to stop. But the whole point is that every time you have this feeling of missing him or wanting to be with him, you go back into your soul, which in my world is in the center of your being, somewhere deep inside. So you just
Mm-hmm.
simply focus on it there, and then it dissolves, and then you can live again. So when you go through the dark night of the ego, the whole
Mm-hmm.
purpose of it is that anything and everything you ever believed so far in your life is going to be crumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Everything. And so then it's rising new belief system, a new, new, whole new life. And looking at it where I'm right now, I'm in Thailand. I don't even understand the language they speak. And I was so many, like 4 decades in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, a long time. And it's not even my home country. So it's just been unbelievable journey to share it. And
So
so,
I was going to say, it sounds like the time that you have spent maybe in Thailand, you've almost been like inside a cocoon, like a butterfly. You need to be in reflecting and reconstructing, I guess, or before you are ready to go out again and do things. Am I hearing that right?
yes, you could look at it that way for sure. Yes, it's
Hmm.
been an incredible experience. So, what was that movie? There was a movie for this woman who went and traveled around Asia and met the gurus and all that. So I just reflected.
Oh, is that? Oh, I was going to say that's not the movie Eat, Love, Pray. Is
Yeah,
that the
yeah, yeah,
one?
that's right. Yeah, I feel like I lived that movie in my own
Oh,
life. Yeah, it was just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
unbelievable experience. So now I'm sort of settling in. Now I'm start understanding what's happened to me, and
Uh-huh.
I'm celebrating. Oh my gosh, 70 years old this year.
You're going to be 70? That's
Yeah,
crazy. You don't
yeah,
look 70. Oh, wow.
yeah.
I turned 60.
Are you 60?
Yeah, so how do you
You look
Yeah,
like
I
a baby.
just turned Yeah, thank you. I turned 60 a couple of months ago.
Oh
And so
my.
how do you feel about the 70s coming?
Um, Well, because I'm now living in the moment, I don't really have
Mm-hmm.
any feelings about it in a sense. I can talk about it, but not sort of feelings. But what about you? It would be nice to hear how you feel that you turn 60, because I can compare how I felt when I turned 60.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm comparing to how it was when I turned 50, which I don't remember a whole lot about it because well, every year that I age, I feel very good in the sense that I feel grateful that I'm still here and I'm still, healthy and active, and I love life. I love life, and I'm attached to life in some ways. I'm a lifer. I live my life fully, and so every year that I get, I'm very grateful. So I know some people, even around me are like, oh my goodness, I'm turning 60. How horrible. And I'm like, oh, I'm so fortunate because, I had a life experience that makes me feel this way is when my mom turned 35, she was told that she had terminal cancer.
Oh,
And she passed away a few months after, passed away when she was 36. And so when I turned 30, I became very nervous. My mom had three children, and I had three children by the time I was 32. And I remember walking into the doctor's office like shortly after my 30th birthday. And I said, I just turned 30. You need to check everything. And the doctor was like, what are you talking about? I mean, no, you need to check everything. Like, do my blood work, do everything. And I told him why I was feeling this way. But now I'm 60, and I've had all this extra living is how I'm thinking about it, right? And so I feel grateful. I feel excited. I think it's going to be different than my 50s. I think every decade is probably quite different. I'm still very passionate about a lot of things, and one of the things that I'm passionate about, and it's becoming more, it's like a dual thing. Like in a way, I feel like I really enjoy slowing down. I love the simplicity of life. Like I like things that are simple and not complicated, just like you mentioned. And I think that as we age, or as I age, that becomes more and more important. And I have examples that I could give you, but at the same time, inside of me, I know that I have less life to live than I have lived already. And so making an impact has always been something that's been important in me, for my life. And it's becoming, in a way, it's becoming even more important, just in the sense that I'm thinking like I've got little time left to make a good impact on the world and people around me. And so that there's like that duality inside of me. So in the morning, I usually jump out of bed with intention.
great.
This morning was a little different because I'm fighting a cold. So this morning I allowed myself the extra sleep, which now I think my body is clearly telling me more maybe in my 60s than it did like even 10 years ago, when I would just say, we'll rest later, now I think that that's catching up a little bit more with me, in the sense that now I'm learning to respect that more. And I know that, like, if I feel like I need to rest, like this morning because I'm fighting this cold, then if I do rest and respect that part of my physical body, then my body will serve me longer, and I will be able to have an impact longer. That's how I'm looking at it at the beginning of this journey, being in the 60s now. But so far, I'm loving it. It's just been 2 months, but it's good so far.
It was beautiful time, 60s. It was a life changing. I definitely changed my life, in that time. Um, yeah.
How so?
Well,
What changed? The 50s to the 60s, what changed for you?
well, I built the empire um, in my late 50s. I think it would have been late 50s. And so I worked really, really hard. And that's how I went off from a spiritual path that I was very intensely involved. And I just focused on working. And I became a workaholic. I only slept like 3 hours a night. And I built
Oh man.
enormous business. But then,
Hmm.
so I'm 70 now. I've been here 3. Yeah, it's about mid-60s. I had everything I ever wanted it. All my dreams came true,
Mhm.
and then suddenly I wanted to let go. Everything I wanted to let go.
Oh,
Nothing
oh,
meant
why?
anything. Yeah, nothing meant anything anymore. And
Oh, wow.
it was so fascinating. I always wanted to live in this
Why
particular,
do you think so?
sorry.
Oh, sorry. I did not mean to interrupt, but I was thinking, like, why do you think that happened? Like, you went from building an empire in your business for like 10 years,
Yeah.
having very little sleep. And 10 years later, you're like, I've got everything I've ever dreamed of.
Yeah.
And now you're just wanting to let it go. What happened?
I don't understand myself today, but looking at it back, it was leading to me to this spiritual path where I'm now through that
Oh,
twin flame. And I prefer to call
mhm,
same soul situation. I'm not with
mhm,
him or anything like that. It's not a romantic situation. Um, it was just an
mhm,
incredible learning experience. And a lot of people are having a hard time. They think it's a romantic thing and they're chasing the person, but that's not the case. You need to go in. That's the path
mhm.
is. So I don't know what happened to me. I suddenly wanted to sell my house. I just paid everything. It was honestly dream house. It was unbelievable and everything was good.
Mhm.
Then suddenly I just let go everything. And I came
Oh,
to Thailand with 2.5 suitcases. That was my stuff. And I traveled with the 2.5 suitcases for 3 years.
yes, I remember because I knew you were in Australia and I knew you had built a very successful business. And then all of a sudden I see you traveling and I'm thinking, oh, how lovely is going on an adventure. But then the adventure kept on going. And
It's
until
never
I didn't see
ending.
you on social media or so I didn't know. Yeah, when I went to look on your social media page just because I was thinking about you, I'm like, oh, maybe she's back in Australia now. Or like maybe she's, the travel adventure stopped. But it sounds like your experience was a trigger to you leaning in more into a spiritual life, it sounds like, right?
Yes. And it's not spiritual life that you live in a ashram or something like that. You still live your normal life, but it just everything changes. Everything
Mm-hmm.
that you're believing it changes. I was in a path where enlightenment was the goal. It was more out of the body experiences, and now it's like, hey, coming back to the body and being very solid in your body. And it's totally opposite than I have lived 30 years of my life prior. So it's taken time to
Oh,
adjust to it, but I've been having I really enjoying my life. Even there it's been a little bit, I had a operation in March, I had a gallbladder removal, but even everything just goes so
oh, wow.
smoothly, like unbelievably smoothly. I don't know there's any difference in my
Mm-hmm.
body or anything like that. I healed really fast. Everything else, I just had my heart checked.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because they say that when you turn 70, suddenly out of nowhere, your body can show different signs, that suddenly your health can go. So
Mm-hmm.
I decided to go and have
Mm-hmm.
a heart test done, and everything is really great, positive, normal heart. Um, yeah. Well, what about you?
Yeah, the same. I turned 60. I'm like, maybe I should go have blood work done. It's been a long time. And so I think, we do that like every turn of the decade, we start thinking like, if there's something I should find out now so I can take good care of my body because that's my only vehicle, right, for the
Yeah.
years to come. And so I was thinking the same. Yeah,
And
that's
everything looked good.
that's funny.
Your blood looked good. Everything was good.
Oh yeah, I'm good to go. I'm good to continue.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, you have a
Yeah, no.
great energy.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Yeah, so do you. Yes, I had something that once in a while I have once in a while I have small senior moments. I was just thinking of a question to ask you and now it escaped me, but it'll come back.
Okay, okay. Just cut me off when they come.
Yeah. No, it was a good question.
Yeah.
Dang. Welcome back though. But yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the reason why I haven't been social media, because how do you drop all these kind of things in a post or explaining or whatever? You want to share it because it's sort of your people who follow you or are your friends. They're your family in many ways, and you want to share
Yeah.
it. It's like, where do I start sharing it?
We're going again. That's why a conversation is a good way.
Yeah, it is. Yes, I like it. I
Um,
think it's nice to catch up, for sure.
yeah. So how do you envision the next phase though? Like now you're almost 70, and then so how do you see, like you've had the last 3 years of traveling, but also inward, inspection, I guess, or retrospection maybe in some ways too. And so how do you envision the next decade?
Well, this is very interesting because I now practice living in this moment. So I don't reflect back
Okay.
and I don't dream
Oh,
about the future either. So life is
oh.
now adventure. So I don't know what's going
Mm-hmm.
to happen tomorrow. All I know that I practice at being here and now in this moment. And it's easier said
That's great.
than done. Yeah. So you just constantly,
That's what.
example right now, if you just become aware of your hands and you become aware of that you're sitting on a chair and you become aware of that you're outside and you have a hat on and, and you're feeling your legs. Now you are in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So often when we have a lot
Have
of
you?
fun, we forget it to even practice being in a moment. Or when we are
Yes, you're right.
having those negative moments and miserable days, we're living in the head and usually in the past. Or if we're in the past, we might regret. If we're going for the future, we feel fearful, anxiety. So
That's true.
the whole practice is just practicing being in the now. So I don't know how to answer for you about the future. I have no idea where I am tomorrow, next month, next year. I have no idea. That's adventure.
Well, then that's how you envision it then, being in the now. Have you ever read the book The Power of Now?
Yes. Oh my gosh, 20 years
Yeah.
ago or something.
Yeah. No, I thought that was a really good book for, when you're going through difficult times and yeah, very intense suffering times, just to remember that right now, you're doing good. There's no problem right now, right? So
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
only problems in your head if you think, of tomorrow and the next day and the following day and the next year. Then, like you said, you become very fearful, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, that's right. And what I understand is the fear is like an electromagnetic field around us. And when our
Mm-hmm.
body is porous, this electromagnetic um, what did I said it so well
Yeah.
first.
Electromagnetic field. Two
That's
brains, we're going to do it.
that's right. That's right. So that field, then if our body is porous, it comes into our body. And if we're really
Mm-hmm.
aware of it, when anger comes or fear comes, it's actually,
Yeah.
we can feel it, that it's starting somewhere bottom of the stomach and comes up, 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 up.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
that is, it's not good. Fear is not good, and it's not real because it's that field, and we can get rid
Mm-hmm.
of it. We just say no, and then we focus on our center of being. And when you're really focusing on your center of being, and if the fear keeps coming, you just say no, and you focus on your center of your being, and it actually dissolves. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, our minds are very powerful. So if we let fear run our minds and our lives, then
Yeah,
that's what becomes our reality.
yeah, yeah. Fear and guilt. They are the things
Mm-hmm.
that people can manipulate us with, the fear and guilt. So not good to
Mm-hmm.
have that in our lives at all. Just let it go.
Yeah,
You, and
yeah,
need, yeah.
I agree. I agree. We don't
So
need more
what about,
fear.
do you plan anything for your life next 10 years? So,
That's a good question. Like I said, like for me, I said earlier, like my I know that there's less years ahead than there have been that there are behind me. So I don't, it's not about fear, but I ask myself a lot of questions about impact and how do I want, although it's not necessarily my responsibility, but that's how I feel like when I'm gone, like what heritage do I want to leave behind? I ask myself those kinds of questions actually. Yeah, I do ask myself those questions for my family, but also like just my community. And my community is I have different communities, so I'll just speak about my community at large. Um, it's not only about like how do I want to remember it. I think that's very egotistical, I guess, in a way. Like, how do I want to remember it? I don't know about that, but for me, it's more like in the sense that what impact do I want to leave behind? Those are the current questions that I ask myself.
That's
I'm a
beautiful.
person of service, and yeah. So, I want to continue serving, the people around me, my community, and I ask myself, questions about that. That's mostly how I envision my 60s. Although I have to say that I also envision my 60s, as looking at myself, looking after myself better because, although I'm very healthy and strong and vibrant and all of that, you take all of that for granted, I think, when you're younger, or I did anyways. Oh, I've always been healthy. I've always been strong. I've always been very energetic and vibrant. And to me, that was a given. That was like the normal, it's normal. But as I age a little bit, I'm thinking, yes, it has been normal. And but I need to take care of that so that it continues being available for me, because that allows me to be able to serve more and to have an impact more and to serve more. I wouldn't say work more, I would say serve more. And that's important for me currently in my life anyways.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
so that's how I look at my mm, yeah. Thank you. It's always in the back of my mind. That's how I function currently. We'll see about when I hit 70. I have a feeling, I have a feeling it's still going to be the same because, if someone was asking me recently a project that I'm working on, I'm like, well, I plan to be there for like the next 30 years. So I think I don't live in the now every moment of every day, just like you. It sounds like your life is just about now. For me, I'm projecting and I'm thinking like, okay, like in 30 years, I'll be 90. I probably should slow down when I'm 90. But in between now and then, I've got all this time that I can do stuff with. I know someone's a friend of mine, his grandpa, he sold his golf course when he was like 97, I think, and he was working the whole time. So I'm thinking in those terms. I have another friend he's an artist and he's like 96, still painting every day, very active because he's passionate about what he does. And that was the same thing with the golf grandpa. So I think when you're very passionate about something, there's no reason to stop, right? There's no reason to stop. And I'm a very passionate person with everything that I do.
That's
So
so
I don't see a reason to.
yeah. And your life is different because you have family, like I
Mhm.
forget often, you have to think about your children and, everything what you're leaving behind, I suppose, and everything.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy to live the way I live right now. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think of for sure. I think of them like my mom passed away when I was little, and I was as old as my grandchildren today, and my children are as old. They're in their 30s now, so that they're the age my mom was. So I'm thinking all of this. That I'm very fortunate that I get to know my grandchildren and spend time with them, and I want to impact their lives also because I remember my grandma impact my life.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I very much think about those in those terms also. But I think beyond those terms too. I mean, I love my family and I think about the generation that follows, but I also think about my community is larger than my family also, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah,
So
because
with family, you have a community too.
yes, I suppose I have in my spiritual side definitely a community. And then
Hmm.
I have my Thai friends that slowly building little community from Thai friends. But I have my
Hmm.
long distance community family in Australia that I absolutely love and adore and keep contact
Yeah.
with them all the time. So yeah, yeah, you could look at it. It's a sort of
Yeah.
multi-dimensional community. And
Yeah, exactly. That's how I
my
feel
guru,
too.
yeah, my guru was saying a very interesting thing. She was saying, if you don't have your own family and you're not in a marriage situation, if you're single, which there's a lot of single people out there,
Mhm.
we single people, we should consider it very strongly to live in a situation to share it with the different generations, like 3, 4 people in the same house, that it's
Mhm.
very, very healthy for you to have a
Mhm.
whole different perspective of life and so on. And I thought that was very interesting because
Yeah.
apparently the way life is being going is promoting single life because they are they're bigger consumers, and the governments and they're not going to change it. They have other things, so we would have to start this from our own little communities and changing the world that way. So
Mhm. Mhm.
like your community is important to you, that's what I hear, and that's
Yeah.
exactly what example single people should start aiming for, and looking a life like that. So I thought that was fascinating.
I think it's very unhealthy when we separate people.
Yeah.
Oh, I think the connection was glitching here for a second. I think it's
Yes.
very unhealthy when we separate people, like the children and then the adults and then the older
Yeah.
people. I think it's healthy when everybody mixes together because the children can learn from the older generation and the older generation can help the active parents that are so crazy busy
Yeah.
because they're busy raising a family and, working to make a living. And I think all of us need all of us.
Yes,
And so
exactly.
I work with a lot of nonprofit organizations, and many of yeah, and many of the organizations that I help, we do events like festivals where we bring people together, and that's my biggest pay is just to bring so many people together of all different generations, like often even 4 generations,
Yeah.
and gathering together and enjoying, some beautiful moments together. And I think that makes communities stronger.
It does. And
I think
example,
isolating everybody is not a good idea.
yeah. It just came to my mind that example, that network marketing that everybody's so afraid of. Um, I actually think it's quite a beautiful community. They're building a beautiful community and they're together learning, and all different
Mm-hmm.
age. There's nobody really judge what age group you are. Everybody's welcome. And I have to say, when I did that myself, um, I learned so much to be in it with the world. It taught me
Mm-hmm.
so much, like computer skills and all different things that I didn't expected it. And because I've been single for a long time by choice,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it gave me somehow like that family feeling that we are all there
Oh,
supporting each other and giving advice, and like it was just incredible. So yes, I can see that some people go a little bit too hard on selling. I can
mm-hmm.
understand why that turn people off, but nothing is 100% perfect. But I think it's absolutely amazing community.
Do you miss it? Do you miss that community, or like the fact that you were surrounded by a lot of people and helping each other, learning together, I should say?
No, I don't miss anything because I live in the moment.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah,
Perfect answer.
yeah. But it's so true. It's so true. I do not miss anything. I'm just so much in this moment, and whatever happens in this moment, I try to be 100%. And so
Yeah.
I I don't know what's happening in the future. I don't miss anything from the past. I'm just very grateful, it just triggered my memory when we're talking, and I felt like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that was really beautiful. But that's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Grateful, not missing. I love it.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that's great. I really, we don't know each other very, very well. We started talking. I think when you were active on social media, once in a while I would comment on your story, and we just started, like, you would answer, and that, a few months down the road, I'd comment again and you'd answer. That's how we first connected.
yeah.
And then recently, when I was looking at your page and there was nothing, I reached out to you. I'm like, where are you? Are you in Australia? Are you still traveling? And then you told me you were still in Asia, and then we started having a bit of more of a conversation. And
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed the fact that, it's probably because you live so in the moment that you're not worried about, we were saying, let's have a conversation. And we did. We had a first conversation. At the end of it, you said, this conversation should have been recorded. And so we decided to do one and record it, because we thought maybe other people would like to jump in and have this conversation with us. But I really appreciate the fact that nothing has been complicated. You're like, we'll figure it out. Let's do it then. Like, I operate like that very much myself. So I really appreciate this, with us.
Yeah, I love it that we didn't have like any plan or any program or anything, because I enjoy how authentic we are together. And it's really beautiful. So we'll see how this goes when we post this in social media. And I think we should catch up again and do more of these things. What do you think?
Oh yeah, I think so. And if some people are interested in our conversation, then but we'll figure it out. We'll see by how many comments we have.
Yeah.
But if there's an interest and it's helping other people, then I would love to continue for sure this conversation. And yeah, it's very simple, and that's how I love it. It's simple and authentic. I told you this morning I woke up late because I allowed myself some extra sleep, because I know I'm fighting this cold currently, and I'll be traveling next week, so I'm trying to rest my body before we go through the travel, 2 days of travel. And then I told you I'll just be on with my hat and and my drink, my energy drink for the morning, and that's it.
You look
Not complicated.
Yeah,
That's how I love it.
you look gorgeous.
Outside.
And maybe we stop recording now and then catch
Yeah,
up. So we'll
sounds great.
say bye for everyone.
Thank you so much.